Right.
So you said that matter transit from the physical to the spiritual and from the spiritual to the soul,
Mm-hmm.
and not the way around. So
No.
okay. So that means that at one point there's not going to be physical.
Well, when you say at one point, it might be a point a long, long time in the future.
Okay.
You know, the physical matter has been around for about 18 billion, is it billion years, I think, around about. And it will be around for many more thousands of billions of years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in that time, obviously, a lot can happen. And a lot can also happen to humans in terms of their changes they make and changes, you know, in terms of not what you call evolution, but in terms of the changes you make as you connect to God and so forth. There's changes that can happen, and you know that will have an effect on the physical universe. When the human changes, and the universe does change in result of the human changing. The human is the pinnacle of God's creation, and the universe is there to support the human in its play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so what's the reason for, like, why does it go this way? Like, why the energy come from the physical to the spiritual?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. My feeling, again, this is we're now entering areas of postulation, not fact. My feeling though is that God can create physical matter at any time, but when God creates, generally God's very economical in her creation. So what that means is God's not going to create the whole three forms of matter. He can create one form of matter and then have it move from one location to another location through a mathematical process. It's far more economical to do that than to actually create the matter in all three locations. Does that make sense? Yep. So the universe is expanding, and so with all of the matter, there's matter formulating constantly in the physical universe, right? From all, where you could say matter is combining, because there is matter everywhere, even in space. But it's all combining, and then as it combines, it changes its role. As it changes its role, you know, a few years ago, in 2016, I did a discussion with you about God's principles, and one of them was the scope principle. And you remember in that discussion, many of you had trouble understanding it at the time. But in that discussion, we talked about how one thing makes another thing, which makes another thing, which makes another thing, sort of. And this is happening all the way through the universe, like where matter is moving, creating new things. Yeah, there's never a ceasing of creation. So that also applies to the physical universe. There's never a ceasing of creation. That's why it's growing.
So God is constantly feeding
Yep.
Okay.
God's energy feeds the entire system, yeah. Without God's energy, it wouldn't work, actually. Yeah.